Welcome to the Sega Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things Sega, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for Sega. Yes, that's true. Welcome to the Sega Lounge, episode 230. I'm KC. Welcome. This is live. If you're watching live, thank you so much for joining us. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Radio Sega. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching this, I have a very nice Go Sega t-shirt, reminiscent of 2020. Such a great year, right? Nothing bad happened in 2020. Remember, guys? Remember?
I can't remember.
Such good memories. Such good memories. Anyway.
What, there was a 2020?
2020. Yeah. I don't know. People say that there was one. I don't know. I don't remember. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the Sega Lounge, and I am joined by a panel of illustrious guests, as usual. To my right, my left, right. To my right. Yeah. Okay. Starting with, in alphabetical order. No, not really. Lime reversed. No, yeah, actually, yes. Funnily enough, yes. Lime reversed. Hello, Lime.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I feel happy and excited.
The two best feelings in the world. Yeah. I wish I was happy and excited, but I'm just sad and depressed. Anyway. No, I'm kidding.
It's always good to meet all of you and talk about, what we're going to talk about. So, yeah.
Whatever it is
Every
that we're
reason
going to talk about.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, we're just going to wing it as we usually do. Yeah. Nobody knows. Next in alphabetical order. No, but okay. No, yes. We have Matt Oliver in alphabetical order. Yes. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Casey. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you for having me again.
Really excited to have you to talk a little bit about your reactions to Gamescom, because you were on the show floor, right?
I was there in the bedlam that is Gamescom,
mopping the floors.
Yes, for work reasons, mopping the floors. Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk to you a little bit about that, the experience that it was attending Gamescom for the first time. Really excited about that. But finally, in alphabetical order, SkillJim. Hello, James.
Oh, hey. How you doing, Casey? Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's well. Never know what to say when you put me on the spot like that, but yeah.
Oh, in that case. Hi, James.
Oh, no.
Look at my empty room.
It's a little bit emptier. Recently. Yeah.
It is. It's getting emptier. Every stream, every live episode of the Sega Lounge is like one less shelf and one less piece of furniture.
Are you making room for all the boxes of Shenmue World magazines?
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say that, but we are in the process of emptying the house to. Well, it's actually for sale now. The house is, if anyone wants to buy it.
Okay, so we're onto the ads portion of the show. If anyone is interested in buying a house, you just talk to
free
SkillJim
included.
Okay,
just sat in a corner waving.
No, I think it's SkillJim free. That's what you mean.
It's true.
The SkillJim not included. You have to pay extra for that. You have to pay with if you're willing to fund Shenmue 4, maybe you might get a SkillJim included in the house. Maybe.
That'd seal the deal.
Yeah. No promises though. Okay. So, by the way, congrats on successfully funding Shenmue World issue number 3.
Thanks, man.
Yay.
Appreciate it.
Good job.
We could do doing like a celebratory stream or something, Matt. For that.
Yeah, we can do one.
Maybe.
Yeah, we could do one. Yeah, if you insist. There you go. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Shiny.
Sneak peek. Very shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
So,
Well,
welcome,
I say
guys. You already know what's on there. So, no. We're looking forward to it. Anyway, welcome, guys. Welcome to the Sega Lounge. We have a lot of stuff to cover. So, we are... Why do I always say this? We're trying to be brief today. As we cover the news. This is like one of those news roundup episodes, because last month we didn't do one. We had the Super Monkey Ball themed show, and so a lot has happened, and still I think there's more than what we have on the list, which is a lot still. But we're gonna try to go through some of the maybe less exciting but still important things that we want to cover, and then we'll try to leave the more maybe interesting for most people things to the end. But that's it. So first of all, for everyone listening / watching, welcome. Hope you enjoy yourselves. This is going to be a chill episode, but still, I think, especially when we get to the Sonic stuff, people will be passionate about this. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lime's like, he's grinning. Okay.
Me? No.
Okay, so, but before that, so let's get into the news that we are going to cover. As I said, this is like a news roundup where I will probably at some point, Matt, put you on the spot to talk a little bit about Gamescom, because some of these things that we're talking about were announced, revealed, or shown at Gamescom at some point. So we'll probably, swiftly pivot into that at some point. But starting with a section I called fan/Sega inspired games, right? So this is a very brief, hopefully, section in which we are going to talk about stuff that is happening in the world of fan games, Sega inspired games, and I'm not sure if I ever thought I would say this, but there is a Chow Garden inspired game coming on the Switch soon. Was announced soon to be released soon. It's called Loddle Knot, and it's described as Lime was saying earlier before we started recording, as a power wash simulator game. Which is an interesting way to put it, I would say. And here it is. So apparently one of the influences for this game is the Chow Gardens in Sonic Adventure, which we, as much as people ask Takashi Iizuka for news on that, we don't get any. It's an ocean cleanup game as well. There's like some breeding mechanics and whatnot. So it's coming September 19th. So that's very, very soon to Switch. One of the influences that the developer of the game mentioned was the Chow Garden, specifically from Sonic Adventure 2. And also games like Abzu. Have you ever played Abzu, guys? I own it, but haven't played it.
I did try it and didn't really like it, but some people do.
Okay.
I suppose they do with any game. Ooh.
Yeah, Lime. It's okay, Lime. It's okay. It's
loves
okay
it.
that James didn't like a game. It's okay. We don't always have to like games. So.
I absolutely have not played it.
Ooh, nice one.
Nice.
Well,
I like that. Yeah, very much. I own it. I don't know on which platform, but I do. I haven't played it yet. But I hear it's like Underwater Journey.
You might like it, KC, because it's like Echo the Dolphin sort of swimming through the oceans. Nothing really happens.
Because I think it was created by one of the creators of Journey, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't played,
I think you'd definitely enjoy it then.
Okay. So nothing much to say about this. It's like a Chow Garden inspired game, because apparently The creator, Ricardo Escobar, was obsessed with Tamagotchis and the Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure 2. So he wants to, he wanted to create a game that, explored the raising of little underwater creatures and also ocean cleanup mechanics. So that's a game to look out for if you're interested in, scratching that itch for a Chow Garden related game.
The raising
What is the
aspect
focus?
sounds a bit like Seaman, I was thinking.
Could be as well. Yeah.
Like it's a focus the cleanup or the racing creatures, or like is it just a mix?
Maybe a
I
bit of
think
both.
it's a mix. Yeah.
Like for the creatures to survive, possibly the ocean needs to be clean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, it ties together indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, September 19th coming to Switch. If you're into that sort of thing, I'll probably check it out at some point, not at launch. Not a priority, I think, but probably at some point. Okay, moving on. Streets of Rage Plus. I'm actually excited for this one because there's so Billy Time Games, right? A patcher that has released several patches and like hacks for Mega Drive games. Recently released a bad ending patch with some features and other patches before that. And now they're releasing Streets of Rage Plus, which includes several of the previous patches and SRAM support to save scores, alternate color options for each character, support for the Genesis or Mega Drive 6-button controller, a sprint ability, and a difficulty randomizer. So all of these are options that you now have with this interesting, I would say, patch. I don't know what to call this. Streets of Rage Plus. So if you're into, this is actually my favorite of the 3 classic Streets of Rage games. I know everyone praises 2 for being the better game, and I believe, yeah, it is. But this is the one that I have the most nostalgia for. So I'm really excited about this. Is anyone wanting to try this at any point?
It's such a long time since I played these older Streets of Rage games. I could definitely see myself going back to it. Definitely, like at least when it comes to, I don't remember if you could play multiplayer in the first one.
Yes,
you could. Yeah. Then I could
yeah.
definitely see myself going back playing it with someone as well. That would be even more fun.
I volunteer for that. If we can get it to run online somehow.
Let's do that. That would be so much fun. Like I'm definitely more used to 3, but
really?
Yeah. That's what I owned when I was a kid, and like a friend had the other ones. So like I got to play them briefly, but I'm definitely more used to 3.
Okay, so I was supposed to be showing something right now, but apparently it didn't work. Not sure why. I was trying to show the web site where you can download the hack or they say it's a patch, but it's also called a ROM hack. So I'm very confused. I would say a hack, right? They they changed the game, so I would say it's a hack, right? But you can get it from ROM Hack Plaza. .org. I was trying to see if it's .com or .org. Definitely. So that's something that you can try. And Lime, maybe we can check it out.
Yeah,
soon together. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So that's it.
Then I'll get less. I will get less hashtag cancel line points for that as well. So.
Never.
What? I am trying to get rid of these points.
Nah. Don't count on it. No, not anytime soon.
I will. What? I will. I know exactly what I need to do. This was just like a small step.
No. The biggest step was to play Shenmue, so that you're definitely, you're halfway there. Shenmue winning too.
Boost.
Yeah, good job.
I only got 3 left now.
No, nice. That's the next one then, and then we'll talk about,
I already have it.
Getting rid of the hashtag cancel live. Okay, next up, Mini Money. Shakato tambourine, the peon. I don't know. This is really, really humiliating and insulting, I'm guessing. But it's the title of a Japanese exclusive game that was developed by Sega and released, imagine that, on the PS1. So after Sega discontinued the Dreamcasts, they actually released a couple of games on the PS1 only in Japan. One of them being, hopefully, yes, it's working. One of them being this, Mini Money Shakato Tambourine the Pion. Yeah, which is like, it's a rhythm game, as people who are watching the video version can see, very reminiscent of Samba de Amigo. And like in Samba de Amigo, and by the way, this is the video that you're watching right now. It's courtesy of our friends, the SEGA guys. So go check out the SEGA guys on YouTube. They recorded this video and talk a little bit about the game and this patch, this fan translation that we got for this Japanese exclusive game. As I was saying, just like Samba de Amigo, which had the maracas as a peripheral to help you play the game, this had a tambourine. This game was released with a tambourine, which makes sense because that's the whole point of the game. You can play with the controller, I guess, but it's not that's the same, just like in Samba de Amigo. And so this developer, this fan translator, patched this game with, apart from the lyrics to the songs, which are still in Japanese, although now you can actually try to, I guess, sing along to them, right? Oh, shoto, mateba, strawberry pie. Ishigo, strawberry pie. And that's about it. But apart from the lyrics, everything else is in Japanese. The commands, the menus, in English, sorry. Everything else has been translated. So it's nice to have this forgotten, I would say, game from the PS1 library. I didn't
know it existed.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks great. Exactly the same menus and everything looks Samba de Amigo-esque. I'm assuming they just use the same engine and
looks like it, right? Although on a less powerful system, the PS1, right, when compared to the Dreamcast. True. But it's not a really demanding game, I would guess. But yeah.
It looks fun.
Yeah. So if you're into rhythm games and like weird games from the past, why not try this? We'll leave the link in the show notes as well, so you can check out this fan translation. And also remember to go and check out the SEGA guys on YouTube. Yeah. Our final bit of news. Oh, this is going swimmingly. I'm going through these very quickly. I'm so proud of myself. Watch me fail miserably later. The last bit of news, Croc Legend of the Gobos. Is it Gobos? I don't know. Remaster announced for consoles and PC. Right? So developed by Argonaut Games. I don't know, were they the original developers?
I believe so.
I want to say yes.
Okay.
Yes,
actually,
they are.
Yes,
they
are. Okay. Because I know they developed the original Star Fox on the SNES, right? The SNES.
It actually says on this page, known for titles like Star Glider, Star Glider 2, Star Fox, Croc Legends of the Gobos, and Croc 2.
Are you calling me out for not reading?
Argonaut Games released its last game in 2004. So it's been 20 years.
It's like the first line. This news article.
But I mean,
damn you,
I know that I also read that, but my memory is just like in one ear, then out the other. Then I recognize, like I know I read it, but I can't really like.
When I think Argonaut, I always think of Star Fox for some reason. And I'm not a big like Star Fox fan. I like the games, and I only played them recently. But I associate the name with that game, with that series for some reason. Yeah. Anyway, they're releasing a remastered version. I know this is a very beloved game. Have you guys played this back in the day? I haven't, but
many years I played it on PC.
Oh, did you, Mark? PC?
Yeah, PC.
Mm-hmm.
I watched others play it.
I watched Jumi play it on Twitch recently, I think.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I've not played it for ages because I've got like a Japanese Saturn, and if you try and load this game through, say, like an action replay cart, there's a known glitch where Croc doesn't. He's just invisible. The game's like unplayable. Yeah.
Okay. So
something that I think is in. Oh no! What happened?
I don't know. I can't show website for some reason. I was trying to show the.
Yeah, because I was just about to talk about the images of it.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep trying. Nope. Okay. Technical issues. Keep talking.
Looks nice and clean.
Yeah. Because it's interesting in what way they took on the remaster. Because I'm assuming these are screenshots of the remaster, and they really kept the original art style. Like it very much looks like it, but just like a lot clearer, a lot more crisp, a lot more high definition. I was like going into it thinking it might be like some kind of like Spyro remaster kind of thing where the art style is like way different. But no, like they really went with the retro feel here. Just
like cleaned up,
just
and
cleaner,
upres, isn't it?
Yeah,
like you say, it still looks very like minimalistic in design, because obviously the original Croc was like one of the first sort of 3D platforming adventure games, and it's got that aesthetics, but it's so clean and crisp, and like the edges are rounded because obviously they were like really, Tomb Raider 1 triangle jaggeds,
really polygonal.
Yeah.
This
nice.
like really feels like that kind of era. Yeah, like I'm thinking Mario 64 instantly when I look at
Yeah,
that.
actually, for sure. Yeah. But even smoother and crispier, I think. Yeah.
Indeed, a lot more high def.
Yeah. Anyone play KO the Kangaroo? Looks a bit like that to me. Like
I played it for a little bit recently, I think. Yeah.
I wonder if it'll have a very similar to the Tomb Raider re-releases, where it have like an up-res mode and a classic mode for the graphics. Maybe
that'd be pretty cool.
Switching in and out of. I don't know. It doesn't say in the article, but that would be quite cool.
Yeah.
I know limited run games have been harassed for years over this game. They've been every time they go, "Oh, we've got an exciting announcement," someone says Croc. So it wouldn't shock me if they or Gex. It wouldn't surprise me if they picked up a physical edition of this somewhere. Somebody did. It's that sort of title that would appeal to that crowd, maybe.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, like a big limited edition, collector's edition.
Yeah,
limited run games, maybe a Croc plush or something. That'd be cool.
That's actually since we mentioned Gex, there's been an announcement of a Gex trilogy, hasn't it? By Limited Run Games. Yeah. But I'm not sure if it's like a remastered version or just like the original games.
I
can't
don't
remember
know,
right
actually.
now.
That's a good question.
Actually, I remember seeing something about it, but not sure about what exactly
I think it was at like the Limited Run Games E3 show kind of thing that they do.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just looks like a straight port, doesn't it?
Looks like the originals.
It does, yeah. They're just releasing a physical version with the trilogy, perhaps, with some collectibles. Yeah.
Nice.
Right. So everything old is new again, right? somehow. People are they're capitalizing on nostalgia for sure, and it's not a bad thing.
It's very much like a big thing at the moment. Like when you get into some of the next bits of news, Casey, where we're going to like the Nintendo Direct stuff.
Yeah,
there's quite a few compilations of like classic games that they're bringing back, and it seems to be successful. It's nice to see. And then you've got, is it GameStop are doing like a retro portion of the stores now inside? I saw recently.
They are. That's controversial.
That's a bit controversial.
I was going to say, because you've got, I mean, GameStop themselves have got their own reputation, which precedes them very, very much on the internet, at least. But I do worry whether that'll drive up prices of retro things and games, consoles, etc. By the fact that if they're going to do
CEX map.
Yeah, I mean, CEX, they're the only ones who've really got the market in the UK, isn't it, in terms of the old retro-y stuff, certainly on the high street. You get the odd sort of independent retro shop, but you don't get many chains picking it up. So I do wonder if GameStop is successful, somebody else might try it, and then it drives prices up again, which will suck for everybody.
Yeah, and it's just like a very small portion of like a section of the stores, apparently. I think people at first thought it was like a whole store, like a whole chain of stores dedicated to retro gaming, which would probably even be more problematic. But people got excited because of that, like a retro themed space. But now it's like just like a very small section of the store. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, but remasters and re-releases are coming.
Definitely the way to go at the moment, isn't it? Loads of companies are doing it.
Even in like films and stuff, we saw, what did we see recently at the cinema? But like, the Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, and like every single trailer, we kept like going like, oh my god, like they're bringing this back, Beetlejuice, or they're bringing something else back. They're bringing something else back. It was insane, really. There's no original ideas, I guess.
It kind of makes sense, though. Games are very expensive to make these days, especially AAA games. And they're not really that amazingly, like, innovative or anything. So just bring back what people love, make some money, and maybe, hopefully, wishful thinking, use that money to make something new and exciting.
It feeds into. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Shenmue 4.
Yeah,
but I think the whole AAA cycle it's not sustainable. I don't know how long term it can last, and
it can.
When you think I was at opening night live, they announced 17 live service games, 17, which is insane. How many of those are going to be successful? One, if you're lucky, and the rest of those studios will end up probably letting people go because it's such a high risk, high reward thing. And it's a shame games have gone that way, I think. But games like Croc, Gex coming back, it's a good little money earner. It's nostalgia. Yes, it is capitalizing on it. Don't get me wrong, but we need something different out there, and this is something like it.
It gives those characters a second, life. Really, maybe we could see more sequels to Croc.
Will these re-releases resonate with new gamers, though? Probably not.
Croc, not sure.
Croc.
It's very obscure, and depending on what they do with some of the controls, I've seen lots of people moaning about the Tomb Raider controls, saying, "Oh, they're really hard to manage, this, that, and the other." But it's a game at that point in time. You're not going to get modern controls from a game from 1990 Blooming 6. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider, you'd end up breaking the game essentially if you changed it to the way games control now. So I do wonder if that might put some people off. I mean, Croc never stood out to me as a game that controlled horrendously, but I guess maybe compared to modern games it does, but I'd have to play it and find out.
Are modern gamers craving for like a classic 3D platformer type game?
Maybe when you look at the success and hype around Astrobot, maybe people are.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to hinge on Astrobot actually, because that's as close as you're going to get in terms of that old school platformer, which is very tongue in cheek, quite funny, and doesn't take itself too seriously, but actually will probably turn out to be probably Game of the Year candidate judging from what I've seen. So if it gets the
people
success,
seem to be really excited about that. Yeah.
If it gets the success I hope it gets, then maybe that'll start giving other companies a sort of a pathway into trying other things like that again.
Billy Hatcher next.
Okay, if you want to. Go ahead. Yeah, but so keeping in line with this, our next bit of news, I'm going to skip one because it's, this is topical. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, limited run edition, right? The physical edition. I own this game. I think I own 4 versions of this game already. I own it on the Switch. I own it on PC for my Steam Deck, if I'm not mistaken. I own the PS3 original and the PS4 remastered version. I think I got them all. I'm actually, and I was talking about capitalizing on nostalgia. I'm actually thinking about getting one of these for the reason that I'm a sucker for Valkyria Chronicles. Basically, that's it. And it's very expensive, but it looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
It does look awesome. As there's a little plush, there's a medal, there's a flag, there's the game itself, which I already own, but it's okay. Like a hard case, some figures, some postcards, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Tank.
So the tank, exactly. So for some reason I get the price in dollars, like $200. I don't know how much that is in euros or pounds.
150.
But 150 probably in pounds and like 2 something in euros, I'm guessing. But
£100 pig.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the another one of those examples of a game that gets re-released. I would probably don't get me wrong, I love Valkyria Chronicles. I love the original game. I would love to see a release of 3 in the West, which we didn't get, or maybe something like. Maybe even the original trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 were on the PSP only. 2 came out in the West. 3 didn't. 4 is a more recent game that is available everywhere. So maybe like bring back 1, 2, and 3 as a collection. I think would be a better deal for people wanting to discover this series, this amazing series of Sega RPGs. But I'm not complaining. Because it's something non-Sonic getting
maybe
a physical release.
Maybe they'll like pair up 2 and 3 as another release. They just know the original is definitely going to sell, don't they? And then 2 and 3 is could be an extra set of sales.
Because they're related in terms of story, somewhat. So you could like easily bundle them as like a trilogy, like the original Valkyria Chronicles trilogy. But I don't know. It's their call. Maybe if this one sells well, they'll do the other 2 as well. I don't know. Any interest from you guys on this Reg Knight edition?
I've kind of stopped buying stuff now.
He says he's
well, yeah.
But
I'm still buying stuff.
Yeah, I know. I don't buy that. There's also just the game. There's just the standard edition of the game. Actually, there are 2 versions. There's just the game for $35 and whatever equivalent that is in other currencies, and then there's the Galleon edition, which is I think it's the steelbook case. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and is it like an art? It's the diary. Okay, the book. Oh no, it's a book box. Okay, it's a book box, but like styled like the diary that you have in the game. Yeah, like the book in the game.
I'm a little surprised they haven't gone across to PlayStation with it as well. But that's just me.
If I'm not mistaken, I have this steel case on the PS4 version already, because it definitely got a physical release on the PS4 when it was released, and I think maybe it's a little bit different, but I definitely do remember getting a steel case with it.
Mine might be a steelbook actually, and it's got like an extra plastic sleeve that wraps around it, like a greyish sort of steelbook with like an extra sleeve thing.
Probably something like that. Okay, so this one is $70. So if you're not into spending a lot of money, like $200 or whatever it is on the other stuff, but there's a plushie, so cute.
It is very cute.
It is very cute.
Pig.
Okay,
it's a flying pig.
It's a
yeah. The metaphor.
It's got wings. When pigs fly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good point. Never thought about that. Okay, thank you, Lime, for that eye-opening statement.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. By the way, do you know? Question for the SEGA Launch Challenge. Do you know the name of the pig?
Oh, interesting.
Hans.
No.
Hans.
I can't.
Oh.
Hans.
Oh, Hunts.
Hans. Hans. It's German. I don't know.
Hans. Yeah.
Hans. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So a lot of stuff is coming back, and suckers like myself sometimes buy them. So why not? Why won't they bring these things back if people like me buy them? Anyway, the ePico is the next bit of news, which Sega announced. You have kids. You're wondering what's happening with them. Are they getting into drugs or things like that?
Yeah, at that age.
I was translating.
Definitely do keep a lookout for
Japanese,
that.
yeah. So, no, of course not. They are playing the ePico, the Sega ePico. And they're actually feeding penguins and learning about bugs and dinosaurs and the Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
so this is the brand new console and mobile application by Sega in Japan. Oh, they're not getting into drugs. I'm so happy. That's what she was saying. Or maybe they are, because I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that like very big stylus.
I looked at not the stylus, but I looked at the translation for the video, and I just thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting that the parent kind of tracks their child's progression.
Yeah.
With intelligence, for example, and other things that like when it comes to learning and developing, I think that aspect is interesting.
Yeah. They can see if they're more like into math or something like that, and if so, they can get them new activities that are related to math or something.
I think I would love this as a child. I think I would have so much fun with it.
Yeah, it's an edutainment tool. So not the Dreamcast 2, sadly, but
close.
but very close, very close.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about the future of your children, you need to get them the ePico.
Indeed.
Or
track their
the
intelligence.
The Epico. It's Epico. No, it's the ePico. Following on the Pico line of consoles that Sega released back in the day. So it's the ePico, like e-cigarettes.
Yeah, I just got rid of it.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
They have the stylus to like pretend they're smoking it. Why is this?
Speaking about-
why am I always going back to the drugs? I don't know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, speaking
got
about
problems,
Yes,
drugs.
Jim. Sorry, I interrupted you very rudely there.
No, you're right. I was just saying I used to have a Sega Pico. Kind of just recently just got rid of it, but I like the concept. I remember being in Toys R Us back in the day, and there was the Tails music maker on show, and just the interactivity of it. And then I didn't own one as a kid, but I picked it up because I'm crazy. I just wanted to experience the Sega Pico, and it's a fun little device. And seeing the evolution from that, where it was like just turn a page and press a pen, sort of like the touch point of the pen on the page. This is actually taking it to a whole new level. It's sort of integrating, looks like Wii vibes, Xbox Connect sort of thing, multi-functional sort of device with a mat. Looks like it's like a dance mat almost, but you can also jump on it, interact with the pen. One point they're sort of using the pen as a flute, so there's going to be musical aspects. It just seems like a good amalgamation of different types of education, and I think I'm definitely going to pick one up for my daughter. And I think it's probably the perfect timing for me as a parent that this has come out, and I noticed
make her a gamer.
She can learn Japanese as well.
Exactly, and me too.
It's perfect.
Exactly. It's perfect, yeah. And I noticed one of the games that they showed at the end was like a Disney princess thing, which is it's actually perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta teach them early to become a gamer. So
exactly,
yeah, them early.
This is their future.
So instead of drugs, a different kind of vice. I see.
Like we're all Sega, Mega Drive, Saturn, Dreamcast mad. My daughter, when she's like 36, she's going to be E-Pico mad.
Remember the E-Pico? It was epic. It was epico.
Epico.
Right. Okay, moving on with other Sega-related news. Eternal Champions. Who remembers Eternal Champions? I do. Yeah.
I think that I do. I might mix it up with another game. I think I have played it because my brain recognizes it for a reason, but I can't fully know if I'm mixing it up with something else because it was so long ago in that case.
So basically, Eternal Champions was like a fighting game in the late years of the Mega Drive that Sega tried to use as an answer to Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat and have its own like 2D fighting game. And it's got I think a very big cult following. Not everyone liked it, but the people who do really, really love it. And there's like a following of even the people who developed it and everything. And so it seems like we're getting a new film based on Eternal Champions. So we have, what is it now? Streets of Rage?
It's still happening.
Space Channel 5. Streets of Rage is, I think. Space Channel 5, so. I don't know. We haven't heard much about it.
Because they announced all these films a couple of years ago, but then it all gone very, very quiet out of nowhere.
Streets of Rage by... I think the creator of John Wick is involved in that one.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Space Channel 5, right? Golden Axe has the animated series, right, coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Comic Zone was one of the others.
Comic Zone. Okay. Yeah. And we have the Like a Dragon series, which we'll talk about later, but that's actually happening.
Sonic?
Yeah. And so capitalizing on that, Jurassic World writer Derek Connolly is working on a live-action Eternal Champions movie for Skydance. Okay, why not? I mean...
Why that game?
It's so random, isn't it?
It's a little bit, right? Is it like, are they trying to go the Mortal Kombat way, like the new movies? There's a new one coming out, right?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah,
right?
the first one's not too bad actually, as well. Having seen it, I thought it was quite reasonable.
Yeah. So are they trying to do that sort of thing? But because we don't really have anything to go on apart from the person apart from the writer, right?
I'm sure SEGA were talking about doing their own sort of cinematic universe with Sonic and all their other franchises. So it sort of fits in with that strategy, I guess. It's just such a random game to pick out of all their franchises. And especially all their fighters. They could have done a Virtua Fighter live action. I reckon it would have gone down pretty damn well. So to choose Eternal Champions is it's just random.
I honestly couldn't name a single character for you. I don't.
Nah.
we need Rafsig here. Rafsig, I think, is a big fan of Eternal Champions.
Could it be safer to take a franchise that is a little bit more obscure, like for your own storytelling purposes?
Maybe, because I mean, you can sort of you can do what you like with it. I guess with these more niche type franchises, coming from a niche franchise, Shenmue is I think there's going to be a portion of the crowd who are quite set on a certain story in the way it's told, and I think that certainly the experience we had with the anime, it was quite telling that some elements of the community found it quite difficult to deviate away from how the games told a story compared to the anime. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be there will have to be changes for a live adaptation. There will be. It's just how they get from A to B in a satisfactory way, I guess. So you can do what I think you get more leeway, but I think the fans that are around are probably more critical because they are so much more ingrained in it.
Yeah.
Is there a storyline? I don't think I've actually played Eternal.
The game, yeah. So apparently, the Eternal Champions are like people from all across history that are fighting in the tournament to, I believe, who wins will be brought back to life, but I'm not certain on that. I can check really quick. I'm not a big fighting game person, but I do believe I tried Eternal Champions a couple of times, and I do remember something like that. So, an omniscient being known as the Eternal Champion predicts that mankind will soon fade from existence due to the untimely and unjust deaths of key individuals throughout history who were destined for greatness. Seeking to restore balance to the world, the Eternal Champion gathers these souls from time moments before their deaths. The Eternal Champion only has enough power to restore life to one of these individuals. So he organizes and holds a fighting tournament between them, of course, where the victor will be able to regain their life and change their fate while bringing balance to the universe, whilst the losers will be forced to die, just as history recorded.
I mean, that does sound like an interesting...
It does, doesn't it?
That's
it's like
interesting
story.
Yeah. And so you have Shadow, who's a ninja assassin from modern-day Japan, modern day being 1993. Rex, an American cyber kickboxer from 2345. Blade, a Syrian... Blade, okay. Not Marvel's Blade. A Syrian bounty hunter from 2030. It's almost time.
All in different time periods, actually. That's a cool concept.
Jeddah, a member of Russian aristocracy from 1899. Slash, a prehistoric hunter from 50,000 BC. Trident, an artificial being created by the Atlanteans from 110 BC. Xavier, an alchemy student from 1692. Midnight, a vampire-like mutant hiding in Vietnam. 1967. Yeah. Larson, a former cat burglar from 1920s Chicago. So he's like a gangster. And the Eternal Champion, who hosts the tournament. So these are the characters. It's an interesting premise.
Yeah.
I would say.
I quite like that, actually.
It kind of depends on what they do.
And what's that movie?
Okay. There you go, Sega. Keep going. Do that, and we'll go watch it.
And release season 2 of the anime while you're at it, considering you can do Eternal Champions as a film.
Is this Sega's
Like,
call, or
That's
just
the thing, right? That's the thing. Doesn't make much sense. Is it Sega's call?
They have to license it out, so
Probably.
somebody
I
would
think,
obviously.
I think they own at least some of it. Yeah, I do
Yeah, they
believe
will
so.
do.
I
It's
do
just how
believe
much,
so.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Publisher Sega, developer Sega Interactive Development Division. Yeah, I do believe
Okay.
so. This is a Sega IP through and through, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so that's
No,
it.
sounds good.
Eternal Champions coming, and you can't stop it now, unless they do because money. We'll see. As usual. Next up, I actually added this one close to the beginning of the show because I had this in the back burner for a while. I wanted to mention this, so I don't know how I came across the tweet from 2021 by Shakira, but not the singer, Shakira Presley, a writer who said
Again, not the singer.
Again, not the singer. Who exactly? Not related to Elvis or anything.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
Not
yeah.
Presley, not Shakira.
No, not Shakira. Nothing to do with those. So, she said. So a while ago, I tried to get a Jet Set Radio animated series created, but sadly, no one wanted to make it. I worked with some talented artists on this pitch. This animatic done by @Laser Singer or Laser Spectre is one of the materials we used. Right. So, which is this? Try to.
It does look impressive. I will,
And it does
say
really
that.
look impressive. Let me restart this so we can watch it from the
I
beginning.
wonder, and I didn't get a chance before coming on air to go back to the interview I did with Jason DeMarco, but when they were looking at anime from Sega, they had a list of animes and IPs that they could use at the time, and I remember him saying Shenmue and Panzer Dragon were two of them. I can't remember if Jet Set Radio was in that mix. If it was, that could well have been the pitch for this and how it's all
timeline-wise, Matt, that would add up, right?
Well, it would because if he's launching this in 2021 and sharing this, they started discussions around the anime around 2018, 2019. So it is entirely possible that they could have knocked this up for that sort of time frame potentially. I'd have to dig into it and listen to the interview again and see whether it was mentioned or not. But it does look really good. I mean, Jet Set Radio is the sort of thing that would translate anyway. The art style would just fit it.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if it's the series is coming back. I think maybe they could revisit this idea.
Maybe, yeah.
See how the Golden Axe series does, and
they have so many great IPs that they could, use for these kind of things. So they had. She also shared the first draft of the pilot script, which you can find. I'll post the link to this in the show notes, but you can actually give it a read if you want. Like there's the whole script here.
Wow.
BB writes, "Funky radio begins to blast." Amazing. So you have Professor K. It would be like the game. Actually, would be really nice. The Poison Jammers, Koganicho. The Love Shockers.
Cool that you can read the whole script.
Yeah, the whole script is. She linked to the whole script, so I'll share this in the show notes for people to give it a read if they want to. But she also shared some of the design ideas, so it would be an interesting aesthetic, I would say. So the GGs would be like this. If for people watching, you can actually see the pictures here, but if you're just listening, I'll put the link in the show notes and check it out. It's a thread she made in 2021 with all this information and she says she's saddened that it didn't happen. It's like her favorite video game IP, and she was very passionate about this, but apparently Sega said no. So yeah.
I reckon try again.
Yeah,
when
maybe it wasn't the time.
Now's the time.
Yeah, it seems like the best time to do this if they're bringing back Jet Set Radio. I was going to ask, would you guys watch this? I think we would all unanimously say for sure.
Give it a go, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like a very good idea. Okay, so just wanted to bring this up because I stumbled across this tweet. Don't know how, to be honest, a few weeks ago, and I wanted to mention this on the show so people would be aware of it as well. Okay, next up, we have very good news for Dreamcast fans, especially fighting fans, because during this Switch Direct or Nintendo Direct, they announced Capcom Fighting Collection 2, bringing back a collection of several Dreamcast Capcom games, Capcom versus SNK as well, Project Justice, yes. I was trying to remember the name. So people who are fighting game fans, not really my case, but are really excited about this. Are you guys excited about especially the return of Power Stone 1 and 2?
Oh, mate, definitely. And the fact it's all online as well.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Power Stone 1 and 2. Fantastic.
It's very much in keeping with what Capcom have been doing as well. They've re-released so much over the last 5 years now, and it fits their strategy. And seeing, Power Stone coming back, there's been a clamour on Power Stone for probably as long as there was for a Shenmue 3.
For sure.
So that community having those now on on a modern platform is absolutely insane and fair play, because it's been a long time coming, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they're smashing it out the park, I think, Capcom with these collections.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing what you want out of a collection. They're adding like bonus features, art galleries, listening to the music, online modes. So you're able to play all these classic games that you haven't been able to play. Well, you were never able to play Power Stone online with anyone. Do you know what I mean? You had to play it couch co-op, which is amazing. And I'm assuming that you can still do that if you've got 4 controllers. You can have a blast of Power Stone 2 with your mates in the same room. But being able to play, we've literally got a crew here of 4 people. We could all play Power Stone 2 together. And,
I would be up for it. I'd be up for it. I remember Power Stone was incredibly well received back in the day.
Well, it was a launch game, wasn't it, for the Dreamcast, Power Stone? So you're looking at the launch titles, what you're going to buy for your new console. You've got Sonic Adventure, Sega Rally 2, Virtua Fighter 3. Power Stone was like this sort of unknown entity, and it was such a hit back in the day. I loved it. Just a simple concept on paper of one-on-one fighter, Power Stones spawn in the arena, you pick up all 3, and you go like Super Saiyan. But it's so fun. Such a great game.
Being able to pick up like random objects and use them in battle, right? I remember that. That was a big thing back in the day. Yeah. So it's coming. Actually,
next year.
It's next year. Yeah, next year to the Nintendo Switch. Is it just the Switch, or are they releasing it elsewhere as well?
I would say elsewhere, if I'm being honest.
I don't know if they announced
the first collection.
The first collection was everywhere, so they're...
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It's probably just some sort of a recency exclusivity.
So Switch, PS4, and Steam, which is a bit weird. Just the PS4, but okay.
Yeah.
So no Xbox, because soon there will be no Xbox console.
Careful, Casey, you'll start a riot saying that.
Come at me. But so PS4, Steam, and Switch for this release, this collection. Okay, next up, something that we haven't really we mentioned this briefly a few months ago, but we are not really the audience for this, but I'm getting a little bit excited, I would say, for this as I see more of it. which is Metaphor Rifantasio. I don't know how you're supposed to say this.
Exactly
Rifantasio. I will always say it like it's an Italian word. Rifantasio. By the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5. So good pedigree there. And it's a new IP, a new Atlas RPG. And during Gamescom, they launched a new trailer for it, right? It looks really good. It looks like it's going to be an interesting concept. I want to go over to Matt. Matt, what was the feeling that you got from like the audience when this was shown and when you saw
the booth
this?
For it was insanely busy. It's probably one of the bigger queues in the Sega area. Sega was showing this, Sonic, and 2 Point Museum, and this was probably the biggest queue actually, which surprised me. There was a lot of buzz around it on the show floor, which was quite nice to see for a new IP, because it's quite risky for companies to go down the road of chucking out a new IP. But I think Atlas have got a reputation, haven't they, that precedes them, especially when you consider sort of Persona and the games they've made there. I think it very much is a case of the quality will stand out and people will give it a chance. And the buzz from the show floor and the people that played it, I didn't get to play it because the queue was insane. And I had to sort of make a very cutthroat decision as to what I could get to. But the buzz on the floor from people who played it said it was really good and really solid, and we're looking forward to seeing more. I think, don't quote me, but I think they were having previews in the business area as well, but I don't know if anything's come out for it yet.
Yeah. People seem to be excited about this. So October 11th is the release date for this. Basically what Atlas says is, this is a story of how people must find unity to elect a new king. The story takes place in the United Kingdom of Ukrainia, where the assassination of the king brings chaos and unrest to the land. Then, one fateful day, a magic known only to the king, called the royal magic, is invoked, and the world becomes embroiled in a royal tournament for the throne. Ooh. So, yeah. I would say it's not typically my kind of game, but knowing how good the Persona games are and looking at how good this looks and how excited people who are fans of the genre are, I would love to give it a try. So,
yeah, me too.
Same level as UKC. Like, it's not my cup of tea personally, because I'm not a big turn-based guy. But then I did really enjoy Persona 5, so I actually watched a Happy Console Gamer video who was like saying like, oh, you know, I've not really heard much people talking about this game, and it's like coming out next month or in a couple of months. And he was trying to generate a bit of excitement for it. And actually what he was saying and the visuals that I was watching and how he was comparing it to Persona, and like all these Atlas games really have like amazing menus and and you know, the gameplay's solid and stuff. He actually got me excited for it as well. So I'll definitely give it a try. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And this is a different setting, right? So we're used to like the Persona games being based in Tokyo or whatever in Japan. Modern day, this is more like a fantasy setting, something different. So probably something to look out for. And maybe we'll talk about it soon, like in October when it comes out. We'll check it out. Okay. That's it. That's for our like miscellaneous themed news. And now we have two final blocks of news, right? So we have the Like a Dragon block and the Sonic block, which are like more, have like some items in each of them. First of all, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about the way this looks and the way that we're actually so close to this releasing. Like a Dragon Yakuza received a teaser trailer a few weeks ago. So it's releasing soon on Prime Video. Thoughts? We talked about this briefly. I think last time we did one of these news
rings a bell
shows, but we didn't have this this teaser trailer back then. So thoughts?
I'm just so looking forward to seeing this. It looks amazing from the trailer, and I'm just, yeah, I just want to watch it now.
Yeah.
I wonder how close it will follow the games, or the game rather. I know that the cast were told not to play it, not to play the original, or not to play Kiwami as part of their prep, which is a little unusual, I guess. But maybe they're looking to put a different. I guess it's with any of these series, isn't it? They're looking to put their own spin on it and diversify it away from the games, which I can understand. That's the only slight concern I have with it. I'm going in with an open mind. It looks good. Hopefully it is good, because I wouldn't want it to bomb and then they just sort of chuck it in the bin and never think about it ever again.
I think there's enough of an audience now from the games that I think the show is going to be successful at launch. I don't know if it's based on, I think, is it the Netflix system where they base like the success of a show on like how many people actually get to the final of the series. So if it's like a 10 episode series, for example,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Netflix, if they're going to renew a series, it's based on like the percentage of people that made it all the way to the final episode. Like I forgot the term, but like holding the retention sort of thing.
Yeah. Retention.
Retention, yeah, exactly. So I don't know if Prime, Amazon are the same on that, but I'm pretty sure like the first episode will be like a smash hit because everyone will want to check it out, and then it depends how good that first episode is. Based on the teaser, for me, I don't feel like it shows an awful lot. The teaser, personally, for me, didn't really get me excited about it as such. But I'm excited to watch the show when it's released, or if there's like a bigger trailer that sort of gives some context to what's actually going to happen. And I think you said last time, Casey, that the actor playing Kazuma looks very young. And just from seeing him in that teaser, wasn't giving me great Kazuma Kiryu vibes. But again, maybe it's his origin story again. I don't know. And he's going to age or get a bit more.
Is a bit more buff, I would say, than what we saw before, I think. Right? This part of the... right? Like, seems like... But it's definitely not really an origin story, because that would be Yakuza 0, unless they delve into that a little bit as well. But it's probably the story of Yakuza 1, or Kiwami, if you will.
That's going to be interesting as well, because Kiryu's inside for 10 years, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and he's quite young when he goes in. So for when he comes out, surely they're going to have to age him a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if part of the process for this actor was to like start filming as he was, and then he trained, gained some muscle, some weight, and then when he gets out, like 10 years later, he's like more buff and looks like the Kiryu that we know. I don't know. Or they could do something completely different. I would say that from watching the teaser, it feels like Yakuza, like a dragon. It feels like Kamurocho. At least that they nailed, I feel. So that's why I'm excited. And also because it's being made in Japan. Imagine having a Chris Pratt being Kiryu or something. Yeah.
Did you see
Tom Holland as Majima?
I don't know who posted it. It might have been RGG on the Twitter account, but they were showing like how they recreated the Kamurocho sign thing.
I didn't.
You guys
see that? No.
Yeah, it's very clever, and I could see it dipping into 0. Just a little bit, if you want to give, because if you're going to build his character, and
Majima, do you reckon? Be in it.
Majima, Majima's a big part of 1, especially early on when they sort of face down, and then you have the big fight they have later on. Spoilers for everybody who hasn't watched or played the games. Oops.
Those waiting for it to come on the Switch.
And I suspect, oh yeah, true. And I suspect Nishiki as well. And it just makes sense that they would dip into some of that backstory in Zero just a little bit to sort of set the scene around their friendship and how that developed to where it was. And then obviously, I'm not going to say anything, but what happened and what led to Nishiki going down a very different path.
Yeah, he went into a different business. No,
yes,
that's not
very
it.
Selling drugs.
Selling, exactly.
E-Picos.
E-Picos. smuggling E-Picos into other countries. Nishiki. Yeah, I remember like over 10 years ago, perhaps, they put out a poll in Japan, I think it was exclusive to Japan, to find out who the most popular character in the Yakuza series was. And I remember Majima won, by a landslide. So I'm guessing they will, and even just the first frame of this teaser is a look at the games, right? And you have in the upper left corner, you have Majima, and you have Nishiki, right? You have Kazama as well, Kazama-san. So I'm guessing this also hints at the characters that will have some focus on the series, and it would make sense for them to capitalize on the popularity of Majima. And if they do start the series not just 10 years ago, or if they incorporate some of the Yakuza 0 elements into the beginning of Yakuza Kiwami, they do an amalgamation of both, maybe that's a good way to let new people who are not familiar with the series into the world of Like a Dragon.
Majima's story in Zero is quite hard, actually. He goes through a lot in his very short life as a young age, which sort of creates him almost that mad dog persona that's not quite there at the start of Zero, but at the end of it you see where it all sort of comes from. So they'd be silly not to, I think, because there's a lot there they can explore.
Yeah, they could also use flashbacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just speculation at this point, but I'm actually excited for this more than I was before, when I saw they nailed the feel of Kamurocho, which for me is, I think, important for this. Right, and speaking of Yakuza Kiwami, the perfect segue, it hits Nintendo Switch October 24th, right? So it was again announced during the Nintendo Direct. I wasn't expecting this. Were you guys?
Until you just said that, Casey, didn't really make the connection. Do you think they've done this deliberately to coincide with the TV show?
I think it makes sense.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you get to play the game before, a month before you get to watch the series on Prime Video. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And it's nice that, and it's the only platform, right, that you couldn't play the game on before. Yeah, you have it on PC, you have it on PlayStation, Xbox. So
didn't they release a version of it on Wii U years ago? Or am I making that
Yakuza
up?
1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yakuza 1 and 2 HD.
That's it. And
but I don't think it was Kiwami. It was just the originals.
No.
Right?
It was just sort of
it's now the un-HD version.
And they showed the trailer for that, I think, showed the man using the Wii U, what was it called? The controller, the tablet-like thing.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Gamepad or something.
Probably. And you could stream the game to the gamepad, right? So someone was watching something on TV, and I think it showed his wife was watching something on TV, and it was playing Yakuza on the gamepad, and then she would move over and say, "What's that?" He was in one of those clubs, hostess clubs. watching beautiful ladies, and all hell broke loose. But but for Nintendo fans who haven't experienced the Like a Dragon series, this is a very good entry point, I think, and a tie-in with the show for sure. That's got to be one of the main reasons to release it right now.
Yeah, brainer.
Okay, that's it. Okay, almost at the end of this Like a Dragon block of news, we have the interesting and well-deserved news coming courtesy of SEGA Bits that RGG studio programmer Hitoshi Izawa received an Excellence Award for Model 2 and 3 emulation in the Like a Dragon games. So people who have been clamoring for SEGA to release a collection, just like Capcom is doing, release a collection of these emulated arcade games they release in the Like a Dragon games. Here's another reason to ask for that, because they really are a thing of beauty and excellence.
It's a license to print money, in my mind.
Very much
really
so.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's dabbled a little bit with the Astro City Minis, right? A tiny bit.
Yeah.
They also say something interesting here. So according to Yutaka Ito, a team within RGG Studios holds meetings discussing which Sega arcade classics should be brought into the latest RGG games. They make their decisions based on three main factors: whether the game has a sizable fan base, whether or not the game has been ported to home consoles before, and if anyone on the team has any personal attachment to the games in question. Interesting.
I suspect, I could be wrong, but when you think of the old AM2 team that were there, and I think a lot of them moved over to RGG anyway, so there's going to be an affinity from some of those more senior staff members to those old Model 2, Model 3 classics. So that does make, I can see where he comes from there. I just saw in the article as well, it's a very good point. By sticking them in a Like a Dragon game, they're not having to worry about the sales of it. They can literally just chuck it in and people can play it if they so wish, which it's almost a risk-free idea, but they could stick those on PlayStation Network, whatever, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store for a few quid each, and probably make a killing.
The article also points out that there are some technical difficulties involved in porting these games and making them work with the Dragon engine in Like a Dragon. So all that work could be, would be much better spent in a collection of all these games or some of these games, I feel, and making some money out of that as well.
Part of me thinks when teams do this sort of thing that they might have a future plan to sort of compile everything that they've worked on into a collection. I don't know if that's a thing that may happen or may come about this, but essentially if they've written the code and ported it and got it working on, even though it's in a game, it's actually running on a PS5 or whatever, there's no reason in my mind that they can't just sort of take everything that they've built and slap it into one collection, maybe add a couple more exclusive games as well, and call it, its own release, because they've done the hard work.
They could easily do like a Model 2, Model 3 collection and make a ton of money. Even Virtua Fighter going on to the whole sort of Capcom fighting games collection. I think it was the Sega guys popped out a tweet yesterday sort of asking Sega, come on, do a Virtua Fighter collection, because there's quite a lot there. And given also you think with Virtua Fighter, they've done 3, put it back in the arcade, there's some sort of plan there for Virtua Fighter. I think most of us think it's leading to 6 or a reboot of the series is what's being talked about, certainly online in the interviews that are around there. So they could easily pick something like that up for a Virtua Fighter, get the old games out there prior to a release of a 6 or a reboot, and actually go to people, look, charge, I don't know, £5-10 for where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the old ones together, kids as well, if you wanted to go down that road. Chuck them all on there for 10 quid and get people sort of looking or at least interested in the series again. I know they had Ultimate Showdown, but that's been and gone a little bit. And
yeah. Yeah. So
the best way of doing it is to announce 6 and then release all the other ones. So it's like,
yeah,
everyone's hyped on what the upcoming game, and we can play all the originals.
the number of games we just mentioned, like IPs that we mentioned throughout this show, that Sega could do something with, is just insane. And it goes to show that they have a really rich catalog of games that they could do something with. I know they can't. You have to be mindful of how you use your resources and how you spend your money, but try one at least, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens with those. What is it? The new era, right? New era games.
New energy, new era, isn't it?
Yeah.
New energy. Yeah, right. And more.
It's been a long time since we heard in more. It's been a long time since we heard anything about those games, which I find confusing. I was expecting something during Gamescom. I'm guessing maybe TGS is a more appropriate
more likely,
venue for that. More likely, maybe.
What was interesting wasn't there a tweet going around? I don't know if it was from Sega themselves or there was just a rumor, but they were saying or suggesting that there was going to be an unannounced Sega title to be announced.
I think that was 2 Point Museum.
Do you reckon
they announced it like a day prior to the event? I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was that. Okay. Next up, and final bit of news here, very quick. Yakuza Wars was trademarked by Sega in Japan. So they filed a trademark for Yakuza Wars on July 26th in Japan, which could be an upcoming Like a Dragon game. Could be a real-life documentary. What, sorry?
Sounds like a mobile game.
Does a bit, doesn't
it? It does, right? It does. Could be Sega following the trend of like RTS games, like real-time strategy games that have been successful in a way recently, and like doing something maybe with that the clan bits of the recent Like a Dragon games, the construction company stuff as well. I don't know. Maybe they could do that. But we really don't know anything apart from the name, Yakuza Wars, whatever that is. Which is interesting since it's like Ryuga Gotoku in Japan and not Yakuza. And not even here, Yakuza anymore. It's Like a Dragon now, so.
Right.
I wonder if we'll hear anything. They got their summit, haven't they, on the 20th of September? I do wonder if it might pop up there.
Probably.
Makes sense.
And TGS. So stay tuned for that, for sure. Right. And that's it for Like a Dragon, which leaves us with like half an hour, I would say, more or less, for Sonic stuff.
Only a half an hour for Sonic stuff?
Okay, 15 minutes.
Wow.
You drive a hard bargain.
Wow.
This is what Lime's been waiting for.
Lime's waiting for this. Okay, and we'll start with the movie. So this is like really, really fresh news. The official trailer was released. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago?
It was
2 days ago,
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Very.
It might have been
recently.
the day before.
Very recently. So the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 official trailer was finally released. Thoughts, guys? There's a lot to unpack here. There's Shadow, there's references to games, to Sonic Adventure 2, to Shadow the Hedgehog. So much.
Looks amazing.
It looks sick.
It looks
absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely amazing. Like,
Honestly,
look at how Shadow looks. It's
honestly think it's the best trailer I've seen for ages.
Yeah. I was also hoping, because in the games, at least in the cutscenes, Shadow has this kind of fighting style with teleporting all over the case, all over the place, and kicking ass. And I was hoping they would adopt that in the movie as well, and they did. And I'm so happy. It looks so badass.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Control.
Chaos Control. There's a little bit of Sonic Heroes action, I think, with all the three Team Sonic running and like the trails with the different colors, right?
Isn't there a rumor that there's like Rouge in the game as well? Movie.
Yeah.
I swear I've read like a checklist from like someone that thinks they know stuff, and like one of them was like Rouge is in the film. And
there's
Amy.
A checklist from a person who thinks they know stuff.
Honestly, when I'm browsing Twitter, I feel like maybe people have seen what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But there was like someone had like marked off what had happened, I think, in the trailer from what this dude had said ages ago, and the only one that wasn't was an Amy reveal. So because he got everything else right, it sort of gives credence to like what he's saying.
Amy or Rouge?
I think it was Amy listed, but then again, I do feel like I've heard someone mention something about Rouge as well.
I thought of Rouge because prior to this trailer being revealed, like 2 or 3 days before, I think they showed like a poster or something leaked with mention of Keanu Reeves and Kristen Ritter. Right. And when I thought of Kristen Ritter, people probably know from many things, including the Marvel's Jessica Jones Netflix show. I thought of Rouge for some reason. If he would play a character in this movie, it would probably be Rouge. Not really Amy, but Rouge. So I don't know.
Interesting.
That's the only reason I say that makes sense. Because we don't know.
Into my head when you said Team Sonic, I was thinking maybe there'd be like a somewhat Team Dark aspect going on.
Yeah, if it's like the Sonic Adventure 2 story, Rouge is in Sonic Adventure C. She also was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2, so it would make sense to have.
Looks like it's going to lean that way, isn't it? More to Sonic Adventure 2, certainly from what has been shown. We're going to see her die. We're going to see Maria die.
No.
Yeah, I think there is a clip already in the trailer with Maria dead.
I think so. There's an explosion.
Maria dead, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not. No one shoots her.
And
this is a kids game, a kids movie.
I definitely think that is Maria.
Yeah, and also, are we going to witness Gerald Robotnik getting shot by firing squad?
It's a kids movie.
Well,
I don't know,
but it's a dark kids movie.
It's an edgy game. Movie. Yeah.
I was thinking about. Okay, who goes?
Sorry, you go, Lime.
Okay, I was thinking about will they involve Gerald Robotnik, and if so, what actor would they pick there? It would probably make a lot of sense if Jim Carrey is going to be there, if Jim Carrey does both. And that's exactly what they're going for. And I think it's a good choice.
I think Gerald Robotnik is the reason Jim Carrey agreed to do this movie. I remember he retired. It had to be like the Angels had to bring him a script that was so amazing. I think it was the inclusion of Gerald Robotnik and not money at all.
Oh,
Sorry,
Jim, you were going to say something.
Well, again, I've seen another tweet recently that someone said that another one of the reasons that he's come back for Sonic 3 is because his kids are big Sonic fans or something as well. So I guess that definitely helps. It's going to be really cool to see that sort of duo thing. I feel like has there been a movie where he's played himself twice before? Maybe The Mask or something like that? Like one of his classic films.
I think there was only one Mask movie where Jim Carrey was in there, right?
There was one. He was either the Mask or like Stanley was the character, right?
Stanley,
Stanley Ipkiss.
Yeah.
But only one at a time. So,
or maybe actually, is it Me, Myself, and I?
No. But there was only one of him at one time as well. He had multiple personalities.
Right. Okay. But he does that so well, doesn't he? How he can just turn from like one character to another. Like the scene is just it looks hilarious even from the trailer. So I'm looking.
He's a genius. Dynamic. He's a comedic genius. So yeah, for sure.
So much so, and like especially with here Jim Carrey playing both roles, he can control the timing like with comedic precision here, and they showed that already in the trailer, and I'm so looking forward to how Jim Carrey is going to play around with that.
For sure. So that's coming later this year, but people are definitely excited about this. I think we are also excited for this. It's going to be a great time.
I so want to watch it with friends or other Sonic fans, but I don't know anybody in my area. Like it would be one of the best Sonic movies ever.
Swedish listeners of the Sega Lounge, get in touch. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes, oh my gosh! Like sitting in, especially for this movie that looks to be amazing.
And you want to be close to someone that you can do that. Like, see, like
I want to sit in the cinema and hear the whole audience roar with me.
Yeah, not going to happen for me either. But okay. The first one, I was one of 4 people in the theater. And there was like a middle-aged person. Am I middle-aged now? Maybe I am, but a little bit older than me.
Young adult.
Young adult, exactly. He was an older young adult who had a Sonic T-shirt, but I only saw him when the movie ended, and he got up, and I was like, yes, and we gave each other a look.
Yeah.
No, like a knowing look. Yeah. And he was really enjoying the movie, but we were the only 2 people. There were only 4 people in the theater anyway, but we were like the only 2 that were really excited for everything.
I had the same experience when I was watching the second movie. Because I was ill when it was released, so I had to wait. And so when I finally watched it, it was like 4 people there. And then at the end, when they revealed that Shadow was going to be in the next movie, like I just wanted to scream out loud, but I don't know, it didn't feel right in that context. Like being the only one going, yeah, like no.
the atmosphere wasn't there. Yeah,
no.
It's stuff like that though that makes it. You think back to the second Sonic film as well, where they're just about to get crushed by the metal Robotnik, and they channel by accident the positive energy of the Chaos Emeralds, which for us as Sonic fans, you sat there going, "They did that in Sonic Adventure 1. Yes, yes." Yeah. And my wife's looking at me going, "What the?"
Yeah. Same.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
Indeed. It's cool. You will never understand me.
Yeah, my wife was like that as well. Yeah.
I like how these films are adapting that sort of post-credit thing as well. That the Marvel films do, because it's like exciting. Because even when you reach the end of the film, that shadow reveal was at the time insane. And obviously, in the first film, they did a Tails reveal. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do a reveal at the end of this film, but
it's the Sonic Cinematic Universe, or SEGA, maybe the SCU. Yeah. Right. Speaking of SEGA in Sonic X Shadow Generations. I think this is the first time I'm actually saying this properly. We were not really sure, but it seems like the proper pronunciation is Sonic X Shadow Generations. And during Gamescom, we got this new trailer with the Doom powers, right? So this is getting really close. This is late October. So it's before the movie, and there's Shadow. It's the year of Shadow, Fearless, year of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, this had very much turned out like a very good year for Shadow. Yeah. Everything looks amazing. The movie looks amazing. This, what we're watching right now, looks like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I wanna actually ask Matt, because I think you got some time with the demo.
I did. Yeah. I played Green Hill Zone Act 1.
Yay!
You have to do that. It's the law. Sonic games. Right. You've got to play Green Hill. And that was a straight conversion from the PS3 era. They re-recorded some of the voice lines for the hints around it to make it more multi-platform by the looks of it. I played Space Colony Arc 1 was the level in the demo, which you get to show off some of the Doom powers. It had all sort of the branching paths. You know what, Sonic Frontiers, in some of the levels you can branch off different paths, different heights, etc. They've borrowed a lot of that from Frontiers in the demo, and it shows very much. And also Shadow's Doom powers, some of it looks very, very similar to some of the moves Sonic had in Frontiers as well. So it feels like a natural progression in. The demo itself was it was great. I enjoyed it. It wasn't very well optimized though. It struggled on PS5. There were frame rate drops, but I don't know how old that build was. Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember what version was like. That trailer ran better than the demo that I played. So I would suspect it was an older build that I was playing, and hopefully they can fix the optimization out. But there was, again, a big queue for it, quite a buzz around it. They were giving out Sonic key rings with Sonic and Shadow on it. The little Shadow pins, though, I didn't get one. And they disappeared off the face of the earth. I was gutted because I really wanted one of them.
Yeah.
How did the controls feel?
They felt fine. Very, very similar, I think, to Sonic Frontiers in terms of Shadow and how he moved. It felt a little sluggish, but that could have been the demo being the demo more than anything else. The Sonic Generations side of it, again, the controls pretty much what Sonic Generations was. They haven't really done anything to it other than up-resed it and made sure it's a flat 60, and it was. But as I said, the Shadow game, if you play Frontiers, you'll be able to control Shadow fine. It plays very similarly to that.
So did it feel like a leap from like the Sonic demo you played and then the Shadow demo you played? Did it feel like you were playing Sonic Generations on one hand and then Sonic Frontiers on the other? Yeah.
It really did. It really, really did. You can tell just by the feel of the game, the way Shadow controlled and moved, his powers, and the level design is the big one, that it's very much two games in one, essentially. Yeah. They've sort of done the easy work with putting Generations on there, but the hard graft's clearly gone into the Shadow portion of it. It very, very much feels like its own game in itself with its own storyline. It's going to cross through and cross over a little bit. And I know from sort of talking to people at Gamescom, they wanted to put in the Doom powers because they want to expand Shadow's abilities, and also they felt they couldn't just rely on Chaos Control as well, which I found quite interesting. So it looks really solid. Looks really, really solid. I think Sonic fans will love it. They just need to optimize it for me, and then I think there'll be a way.
Did it just jump straight into the stage, by the way, or was there like a hub?
Straight in. So you literally just selected your level, bam, straight in. And they also had a boss fight as well, which showed off Shadow's Doom powers in probably better detail. I didn't get a chance to play that, but the Sega rep let me stay behind and watch somebody else play it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could have just let me play it if they're going to let me stay behind anyway, but I'll take it. And it again looked really, really solid. The boss fight looked really cool. Again, some frame rate drops in there, but I think nothing that can't be fixed. I was surprised.
It's probably an old build, but it actually looks very good and very fluid. It's always looked fluid, especially the shadow parts, right? more than the Sonic generation parts.
I'd say graphically, it's certainly a level up from the generation stuff where they've touched things up, but they haven't done anything to it. They've just ported it and modernized it a little bit where they needed to. Whereas the Shadow portion very much feels like a ground up build, utilizing some of the more modern technology and the graphical capabilities, hopefully with the PS5, PC, etc.
So can you use the powers? Sorry, Lime. Can you use the powers at any point during the level, or is there like a specific power?
You can use them at any point, but also there's points within the level where they encourage it to like make progression as well. So you might need to use like a Doom Spear to get through a wall or something like that. But the game talks you through that as well. All powers were available in the demo. I don't know if that will be the case when the game comes out itself. I would imagine you acquire them over time as you progress through the level.
Probably.
Would make sense, but I think for the benefit of the demo, they wanted to give as much of an experience as they could. And I'm pretty sure actually that in the business area they had extended previews of it. I think Sonic Stadium were there and they had a big preview of it running on Twitter and go into the real detail and the nitty-gritty of it. And I think the footage that they showed probably looks more stable than the demo it was on the show floor as well.
Probably like a more recent build.
Yeah,
closer to the final build, probably.
Yeah, from what I saw of it and comparing the two, obviously I didn't get to play the preview build that was in the business area, unfortunately. I'd like to have done, but it is what it is.
Yeah, sorry, you were asking a question.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the controls a little bit more, because in Sonic Frontiers, the homing attack button is different from the jump button. What's it like in the shadow part?
It was mapped to the jump button when I played it.
Okay. I see.
And that was also, they had a little like crib sheet of the controls with the booth, and it was mapped to the jump button, which I mean I didn't have a problem with that because when you play adventure etc. It was mapped that way anyway. Whether they changed that I don't know, but I'm sure the Sega rep said to me you can customize the controls a little bit anyway if you wanted to.
So is everything like linked to a button, like all these moves? Is it like RB or?
Yeah, they're all. I can't remember what all the button presses were now, but they're all linked to buttons or a combination of buttons.
Combination, probably.
Very much like Frontiers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, did you also say that you could use the Doom abilities at any point?
You could in the demo.
In the demo, okay.
Yeah, you could in the demo. Again, I think probably because they wanted them all available for people to try out, and there were certain points within the level where you had to use them anyway, which makes sense. Whether they're available,
you probably have to unlock them
because one of the abilities is to fly. So that was like you can use that at any point. You can just choose to fly at any point. That sounded weird to me.
It does sound weird, and in the demo you could, but I think they will restrict that off in terms of you'll acquire those powers as you go through the shadow element of the game. I think if you walk in with all those powers off the bat, you're going to probably break the game a little bit. And I saw people flying off in all sorts of random directions and killing themselves. So I don't think it was quite designed for that. So
I wonder if there's hidden stuff in the stages though, like collectibles.
Well, I expect when you're finding the red rings, for example, I would expect that you're going to have to use some of those Doom powers to get to them, and you have to replay those levels as things goes on. Again, like Frontiers, you have to replay the levels to find all the paths, to find all those red rings, etc., to get your S rank. I think it's going to be something similar.
Yeah, you probably have to unlock the powers as you progress through the game as well. You don't have them all. You probably, I would assume, like in Frontiers, you have like a skill tree. Right?
Yeah,
it would make sense. Powers as you gain more experience points,
and you did get a rank as well at the end of the level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Then I know what I have to do.
I'm S ranking
exactly
on extreme mode.
Gotta S rank it.
Tears of joy incoming.
Oh yeah, indeed. I mean, do you know if there are different difficulties in the game? Did you see that, Matt?
there wasn't a selection
Probably
option
not.
for it.
It's a demo. It's usually, from experience, these demos are like very, very straightforward. The fact that you have had all the powers available makes sense because they wanted to show them off, like to showcase them. But it's usually not the case. You usually have one thing that you can do on that specific level that they prepared for the demo. So they're very straightforward.
I remember playing the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth demo at EGX last year, and they had, for example, Kiryu's Dragon Power, where he could run around and punch everybody, and free battle mode was available quite early on in what is early on in the game for the demo purposes to show it off. But in the actual game, it didn't come through until halfway, 2/3 of the way through, probably. So I think it's just because they want to show it off.
Makes sense. Doom Spears, Doom Blast, Doom Morph, Doom Wing, Doom Surf. 5 powers. That's the gist of it. And we will learn more when we play the game. Not so long to go. And by the way, if you want to wait a little bit longer, you can get the collector's edition from
a little bit longer.
Games. A little bit.
Estimated ship date in July.
Yeah. So who needs to play the game at launch? Just wait until July 2025.
And it's the way gaming's going into it. They really want you to buy it multiple times for sure.
Yeah.
You can celebrate the, what is it? 34th anniversary?
I mean,
next year.
Backlog,
Sonic's 34th anniversary.
Yeah.
But this is a very cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm not gonna spend my money on this. But it's a hard call because it's got some amazing stuff here.
I'm tempted. I'm probably not gonna either, but I'm tempted. Like, I haven't fully decided.
I was tempted, but then I'm also content with the Japanese limited edition as well. That's sort of like, it's got a few of these little things, but obviously that statue in the middle is amazing. But then again, how many statues of Sonic and what?
Yeah, that's my thing. I have so many Sonic statues and Sonic merch that I'm trying to hold back on any new things they release. I'm tempted by the plushies, the ducks. They announced the Sonic and Eggman ones because they look cute. But
ducks.
Yeah, the ducks, the tubs. Yeah, but I'm trying to hold back on Sonic stuff. But this looks good. The Dreamcast statue looks really
that
cool.
That Dreamcast statue is really cool. And actually, really I reckon the soundtrack because if the soundtrack's anything like Frontiers, which I know obviously Sonic Generations, they're not going to change that soundtrack, but the Shadow Levels, there's potential there for the soundtrack to be really, really good.
Yeah,
the Frontiers soundtrack, really,
the
really
songs
good.
We already heard are great remix.
I reckon they'll release that. They tend to do the soundtrack releases in Japan at least anyway, don't they?
Yeah,
they do.
for sure. I also like the Chow figures.
They're cool.
They're cool, but again,
speaking of the levels, one thing that caught me by surprise: Chaos Island is in the game from Sonic Frontiers.
Okay,
interesting.
So what you were saying last time, Lime, about there being potentially a hub world linking all the stages together.
Oh yeah. But that's not it. Like the hub world, it's something else. Like they made Chaos Island like an action
proper stage
in the game.
Oh
yeah,
interesting.
Okay,
that's like whoa.
Is that how the stories?
I didn't expect that.
Is that how the stories intersect? Could be like
I have no idea, but like I guess like either Shadow was there like before, and they're just like it's still like in the past. We just didn't know that Shadow was there before at some point, or like since they already have the ability of time travel, why not travel to the future Maybe that's what happens. I have no idea.
Or it could come off of like the Sonic Frontiers thing, like the Sonic and Shadow meet somehow during the events of Sonic
Classic Shadow.
Yeah,
because I mean the official is that it's supposed to take place, like this Shadow portion 2 is supposed to take place at the same time as Sonic Generations. And so Sonic Frontiers happened way later. And so that's...
But it's timey-wimey stuff, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe there's a big portal, like the DLC for Sonic Frontiers, where it rewrites the ending. It's like a big
Shadow's
portal
like,
you go through.
I don't like this ending. I'm going to do my own. And then he screws up everything.
Goes back to 2006.
Fight Black Doom. Exactly. So Sonic X Shadow Generations is coming soon, October, which means it's going to be a busy like month of October. Yakuza, the series, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Metaphor Refantasio. So
Refantasio.
What else? Sorry?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Okay, yeah, that's Sega themed in a way as well. So a lot of stuff happening there. Yakuza Kiwami comes. No, October 24th. Wasn't it? Wait. Oh, it is. Yeah, I thought it was September. Oh. I said
so much stuff happening. My gosh!
I think I said prior that it was September, but no, it's October 24th. And what about the series? Wait, isn't it the same day? Wait, let me check. Oh, it is. So the show and Yakuza Kiwami on Switch are coming out October 24th. Both.
There you go. They've definitely done that deliberately then.
Oh, so then that actually makes more sense. So you can play the game while you watch the show, as you watch the show. That makes sense. They're trying to do like to pull a Fallout thing. People watched the show and then they went back to playing Fallout 4, especially all over the world. Yeah, I did that as well. Really enjoyed that show. I hope this is like that in a way.
I hope so. I hope it does. I think it would be good for the series, good for the fans as well. I mean, I think we're going to get more games, but I think they put a post out or tweet out talking about which big famous actors you wanted in Yakuza games going forward as well. I'm sure I saw something like that. So they clearly need to pay for The Rock to be in something.
SEGA or something.
Oh, could work.
Yeah, it could do.
Yeah, and Chris Pratt, because he has to be in everything, and Tom Holland. Oh God. Anyway, one last bit of news. This is I just included this not long ago either, because are you guys familiar with the Sonic Shorts series?
Yeah.
No,
I was
surprised
to see that link there, because there was I used to watch them a lot and waiting for like a new release, and then there was this like huge pause, and like I never really got back to it. So I've not seen anything from them until now when you sent that link.
Yeah, so I actually missed this as well. Thanks to Sega Driven for reporting on this news. Sonic Shorts, for those who are not familiar, is a series of like very short, obviously, animations done by Sonic fan artists and compiled by Sonic Paradox. And they're usually amusing. Some are really funny as well. And this is volume 9, which comes out like several years after the last volume. I remember when I went to Summer of Sonic 2013, we're probably putting out like 4 or 5, volume 4 or 5, and the audience went crazy. Sonic Shorts were a regular thing that people really enjoyed. It was like part of the zeitgeist for the Sonic community, at least. So yeah, you have 40 minutes of short Sonic-themed animations done by several talented fan artists and like voice artists as well. They're voiced by the community as well. They reference several of the games, the movies, so a lot to sink your teeth into if you're into this sort of thing. I haven't watched everything, watched some of them because it's a very long video and I have a very short attention span. But recommended, Sonic Shorts 9.
I had it as a dinner entertainment.
Okay.
So I watched it.
Was it good?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Okay. Probably a product of its time, but still enjoyable, I would say.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it. I'm really proud of all of us because we did it in 2 hours. Maybe a little under 2 hours. That's amazing. James, you said we could do it. I didn't believe you, but you were right. Good job.
I told you.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Never wrong.
Good job. Yeah.
Bong.
Okay, and so it's time to say goodbye to people. But before we do, you lovely people joining me for this show, I want you to tell everyone how they can find you, what things you've been working on. So please plug stuff, plug away. Let's start in non-alphabetical order with SkillJim.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I'll just be working away on this little thing that obviously you mentioned at the start of the show has been successfully funded now. So unfortunately, you can't back this if you wanted to. But yeah, I've got to get quite a few things done. I've got a couple of weeks off now, actually, so I can start wrapping things up and moving it into the production stage. Kickstarter does take a couple of weeks to process people's funding. I'm waiting on. But once that happens, I can start getting the wheels in motion. Yeah, looking forward to that. It's basically what I'm going to be working on for the time being, other than the fact that we've got a stream on the 4th. Matt probably talk about that in a minute. And obviously future Shenmue related events to come. But other than that, that's me, I guess.
Yeah, and congrats again on
thank you.
The successful funding of Shenmue World Issue 3. Really looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay. So since you mentioned Matt, what about you?
Well, at the top of the show, we mentioned I went to Gamescom, which was insane. I'd recommend it to anybody. I did a full write-up of opening night live and the things that I played on the show floor as well. So check that out on the website. 4th of every month, we are streaming for hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4 at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. in Europe, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. midday Pacific, and 4 a.m. in the morning in Japan. If you want to join, we tweet as one. You can find the video on our YouTube page where I explain exactly how we can all tweet together. The idea is to get the hashtag trending over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and make somebody listen to us that we want more Shenmue games as well. There's weekly videos, podcasts that James and I put out as well. You can find us on X, Twitter, Shenmue_Dojo, YouTube, Shenmue Dojo VOD, Facebook, Shenmue Dojo, Instagram, Shenmue Dojo, everywhere else, Shenmue Dojo, basically.
Spot on, Matt.
Yeah, and I do recommend that write-up about Gamescom. Seemed like you had a great time there and met some lovely people as well.
You also played 2 Point Museum, right, Matt, didn't you?
I did play 2 Point Museum, which was, I mean, I love 2 Point Hospital, so I didn't need encouragement to go and play that, and it's very much in the whole, the humour is completely sarcastic, and it's great. It's really up my street. If you ever played the original sort of theme park, theme hospital games, you're going to enjoy that one. It's really, really cool. First level is a full sort of tutorial level, but there's a lot going on there. I think it's due out for release this year. It certainly felt like the game could do from what I played.
Mm-hmm. I just realized we missed 2 Point Museum as a news story, right? Because it was announced during Gamescom.
We did mention it actually, didn't we? Because
we mentioned it, but we just like
about that announcement thing.
Just skipped over that because yeah. But let's see if they mention a date for that, because it really looks like you don't really. It's coming soon. It says coming soon. Wish list now, but we don't really need to delve too much into it because it's like it's a 2 Point game. At this point, people I think know what they can expect from these games, right? It's pretty much a known entity at this point, but it looks really good and really fun, right? So, what sort of demo did they have there for you to try, Matt?
So it was PC demo. They also had some Xbox booths set up with it as well, but I didn't try it on Xbox. It was on PC. So you had the first level. So it was basically tutorial levels to talk to you about through the mechanics of the games, how you set up museums, how you put artifacts in the museum, how you go out hunting for more artifacts as well, sending your explorers off on various levels of adventure, going from the quick adventure, which apparently is very risky and they might die, to like a longer term sort of 6-month expedition somewhere, and it changes the relevant artifacts you get as well. So if you spend longer out there, you get better artifacts, and also it digs into further research into longer term projects that you pick up as well. You have to generate buzz for your museum through the artifacts and through the things that are in your museum, and that's basically customer satisfaction, what it translates to as well. It's very much in keeping with any of the 2 Point games that are out there. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Yeah. I remember one of the interviews with one of the developers. They said that there was like a specific part of managing the museum that's sort of a game in another game in a game. Like it's so intricate that it's like a whole different game in itself. I think it's the aquarium part, the aquarium management. That you can have. To that bit. You have to like choose the fish, the food that they eat, and all of that, and the temperature of the water. So managing that in itself is a game within a game. So
it's like Chow Garden inspired.
See? See? Just like Laudle Not.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Or maybe Laudle Not.
Clean the aquarium.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Matt. And hope you enjoyed yourself. It looks like you did.
Really good. I'd recommend going. It's busy. God,
I was gonna go. I'm saying this all the time, but I was gonna go in 2020. I had a press pass and everything ready, and then
don't get me started on that. The arguments I had. I want to get one of them this year.
Yeah, it was. I think it's probably harder now because there's no E3. It's the biggest. Like game expo in the world, the biggest physical event. So it's probably everyone wants to go. So it's probably harder now than it was 4 years ago.
It's really strange because we got one without any bother in 2023 because Flag went out and did the Air Twister article for us, Met in Games, did all of that for us, and it was brilliant. This year it was a lot harder, but I will give guys on the ground at Gamescom credit who actually really did try to help and eventually pointed me in the right direction to talk to somebody who listened to me and were very, very helpful and allowed me eventually to get into the business area to actually talk to some people that I had appointments with that I was desperately trying to say, I have these appointments. I'm not just going around there for a laugh. I booked these months ago. But they sorted me out in the end and it was well worth it.
And that's what matters. Excellent. Okay, thank you, Matt, for sharing. And finally, after this was like a pivot here, but we're back on track. Lime Reversed.
Hello.
What say you?
Well, I focus on 100%ing Sonic games on my Twitch channel, Lime Reversed. We have just managed to finish the 100% run of Sonic and the Black Knight.
Well done.
I am so proud of that. There will be a compilation of that journey coming up on my YouTube soon, also Lime Reversed, where you can see why I am so proud of having gotten through that. It's a journey. It's very much a journey, one that I did not expect at all. So, yeah, that means we have finished around 24 Sonic games. And so with the home console Sonic games, we have 6 left to do.
Wow.
Which ones?
It's not many.
Not many indeed. Which
or at
ones
least
is it?
some of them.
Yeah, so some of them would be like, I haven't finished Sonic Superstars yet. I haven't finished Sonic Dream Team. So both of them are very much worked on already. And then we have Sonic 3D Blast on the Saturn. We have Sonic Chaos, Sonic Blast. And then, of course, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and probably something else that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I think the worst part is over, I would say.
Yeah. Indeed.
Definitely.
Indeed. I also just started trying out Instagram, so people can follow me on Instagram, Lime Reversed, also, if they want to.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way, guys, are we happen to be sponsored by Secret Lab or something?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, that's all 4 of us. Excellent. So
they should sponsor us.
They should sponsor us. Yeah. Secret Lab.
You should reach out to them.
Secret Lab.
And have a screenshot of this.
Come on. You're missing a trick here. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. And screenshot this and send it to them.
And that's it. That's it. And so, yeah, the Sega Lounge, we recommend Secret Lab chairs.
I actually do. Like, for real. I do.
I know I do as well. My back got significantly better after I bought this chair. I couldn't walk, but then it's a miracle. No, I was actually suffering, and you guys know it's really true. I had some serious back pain with another chair that I bought, and this one fixed everything. My posture is better. Really recommend it. Yeah. Thank you, James. Hope you got your commission. Okay. As for the Sega Lounge, we'll be back next week. We have. I'm actually very excited about next week's show. Just like a little bit like I was for last week. So if you missed last week's show, we got Brian Shea, former director of Game Informer, on the show. We discussed Sega games on Nintendo platforms and his history with Sonic and Sega. And it was like a very interesting, like, back and forth, really relaxed kind of show, longer than usual, because, it was a great conversation. I do recommend you going back and checking that out if you haven't done so yet. Next week, we'll be focusing, we have a returning guest, someone who hasn't come on the show in a long time, but it'll be his 3rd appearance. I won't say who it is because I haven't recorded the show yet.
Who is it going to be, Casey? Tell us.
It's going to be a Mega Drive / Genesis focused show, but do check that out next week. As for other things, always thesegalounge.com. Check out our YouTube channel. Follow us, the Sega Lounge. So it's youtube.com/@thesegalounge. I'm trying to post stuff. Time is the biggest concern here, but I'm trying to probably post videos of like shows like this show. These live shows will go on YouTube, the full versions, and probably some of the previous episodes will start to appear on our YouTube channel, as well as some select clips from specific shows. And I'll even probably go back, go into the archives and dig out some clips from old interviews we've done in the past 10 years. We also have merch, like our hats, like our mugs. Why did I put it here through the mic? Okay, like our mugs. Doesn't make it justice, but the 10th anniversary mug. So you can support the show that way as well. thesegalounge.com/support. And we'll be eternally grateful. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Guys, thank you for joining me for this very fun conversation. See you all next time. Oh, and be on the lookout for our Sage live episode coming in like 2-3 weeks. Very soon. So we'll be live then as well. Be on the lookout for that. Until then, bye-bye, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. The Sega Lounge, hosted by me, KC, and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at The Sega Lounge on X, Twitter, and Instagram, at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky, and be sure to check out our Twitch and YouTube channel for live video content. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com, on the Terra Player app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. A Mixdown Productions podcast.